Hey, and what's up guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today, I'm finally ready to give you my full review of the Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus. So before we begin, I just want to update you on the state of updates, as you know, that Samsung has been pushing lately. So before I actually go into the review, I just want to show you the new changes in the April patch that Samsung just pushed out. To check that it's the new one, we can just go fast to software update, last software update. As you can see here, it's the April security patch with a few things. They say the stability of Wi-Fi, the performance of the camera, and a security patch update. Again, the camera has been updated. They added a new night mode that you can see here that we will talk about in a little bit. Also, an always on display, when you plug in your phone and it's charging, the text that says that it's charging and it shows the percentage and all of that got a little bit bigger so that it's more visible. And there are, they say, some battery improvements for some people. I did not notice any, I don't think so, but the phone has been performing again as expected, and it's been a pretty great phone. And also, they solved the Spotify player problem, because a lot of people have been having issues with it on the lock screen either, or if you have a Galaxy Watch, you have the issue that when you are listening to it, when you want to control it through your smartwatch, the controls on the smartwatch do basically nothing. So you have to go back into your phone and select the track on its own. It only works for like a few minutes and then it just drops out. Now it works for any length of time. I have tested it and it works. Samsung fixed in this new update is the problem in the pocket, when a lot of people have been complaining that the phone sometimes just double taps itself when it's in your pocket and it starts to dial numbers, and Samsung has fixed it. And as you can see here, I actually managed to take a screenshot of it in this April security patch. And as you can see here, once it's in your pocket and fires up and it's on, as you can see, the first swipe, it might actually register. And as you can see the keyboard in the back to actually input your PIN. But once you try to tap it, as you can see, it says accidental touch protection, and it does not let it actually work. So it's really good. They actually fixed it. There is no fingerprint recognition improvement or anything aside from the video that I've made before this one. So just to get this all out of the way and actually get into the review. Now, as for the review of the phone and what I actually like about it, what I don't like, just to get it out of the way, the design of the phone is incredible. I don't think anyone can argue about this point. The phone looks stunning. It's absolutely incredible. It's really, really thin, as you can see here. I mean, the color, especially this one, I actually really, really like this color. It's pretty incredible. The only thing I don't like is, as you can see here, this Duos, emblem. I really don't like it, but hey, what can you do? Nothing is perfect. But the phone overall is pretty good. A lot of people say that it's a little bit light. I don't think so. At first, when you take it out, yes, you actually notice it. But once you get used to it, you actually start to feel that it's a little bit heavier than you think. It really all depends on the phone that you've had before. I've had the S7 Edge, and it's a little bit on the heavier side. So basically, when I had this one, it felt pretty light. But once I got used to it, it's pretty much good to go. The next thing that I want to talk about is the display. Now, this phone, and as it has been with every Galaxy S generation since the S10, Samsung provided the best displays on the market, bar none. No phone in the last decade was able to top a Samsung Galaxy display ever, which means basically every phone that you buy for every year, you will have the best display on a Samsung Galaxy phone. Well, the brightness is more than enough in any situation. Bright light, or if you are actually using it at night, you can go down on the brightness to extreme levels so that you don't hurt your eyes. The display on its own has some technologies implemented so that it doesn't hurt your eyes. So again, the display, it's incredible. I use it on its Quad HD setting. If you go to display, as you can see here, I use it on the Quad HD, the maximum resolution, and it looks crisp, incredible. The next point that I want to talk about within the display, which is basically the notch. Now, a lot of people have talked about this, and they say, well, the notch is too big. Some people say that, well, it's just like a notch in the middle, it's just in the side. Hey, from my personal experience, you really genuinely don't notice it. It's incredible. I don't know why. I'm not a fanboy or anything, but it really just disappears, especially in dark scenes and stuff when you're zoomed in. It's not that obtrusive at all. It might be personal preference, as I said, but If you are on the fence, I would say just buy it. It's incredible. The notch should not be even on the cons list for you. Just go ahead and go to the next point. The next thing I want to talk about is the camera. Now, in terms of the camera, it's incredible. I will have to say it's one of the best cameras on the market. But I think what will be the problem, every Galaxy phone this year that's been released, basically, which is from the S10e, even through to the Galaxy Note 10 that will be released in a few months, the camera will not hold to the competition. I really believe it. Now, once you go into the camera, the UI is incredible. It's really easy to use. As you can see here, there are 3 modes, as you can find. This one is the ultra wide, this one is the normal one, and this one is the zoom. They all work incredibly well. The video is really beautiful. It's incredible. It's smooth. Basically, the Galaxy S10, I believe, is the best phone for videos. But for photos, I don't think it's even going to make it in the top 3. Not because it's a bad camera phone, but because the competition has so much to actually work with. The Pixel 4, once it's released, it will have incredible AI and software that it's just going to blow everything else out of the water. The Huawei P30 that's just been released, the Pro version, it has an incredible zoom and the nighttime capabilities are incredible. And even though Samsung pushed the night mode update, it's not going to stand that much next to the P30, I believe. And even the iPhone is said to will have brand new sensors and everything. So I think even though it's an incredible set of cameras, the Galaxy S10 Plus will just be left behind by a little bit, which means it will definitely not hold in the top 3, but it might be in the top 5. It might, depending on what phones will be released. I mean, just look at it. This is with the wide angle one. I will overlay it on the screen right now. And as you can see, I mean, look at that. Look at the sky and the way it goes into white, and then you find the green, and then this little building here. It looks incredible. This is one of the things that I like about the wide angle. It really brings a brand new perspective into the photos. This is the same photo with zoomed in, as you can see here. This is basically the same. We're using the zoom lens, and it's just as good. The colors are basically very consistent, which means it's not going to be even a problem. And then we have the normal lens. Again, the same beautiful colors, the same everything. As you can see, and this is after the update, but I did not use night mode, obviously, because it was not night. I took a few pictures, and as you can see, I mean, look at the blue in the sky. It's incredible. It's just impressive. And as you can see, look at this. It even catched that little bird flying up there. I mean, it's really impressive. And the screen, it shows things that are incredible. It really renders things pretty impressively. Another thing that is an incredible pro in the Galaxy S10 is the battery life. In the past, I showed you only battery life that was based on Wi-Fi only with the phone picked to 3G network. For the past few days, I've had the opportunity to go on a little vacation, and obviously I took my phone with me, and I got to actually use it in real-world scenarios. I've been on the train for almost like 4 hours, and I used the phone non-stop, almost non-stop, and I'm going to share with you some of my battery results, but suffice it to say, the phone has been working incredibly well. Now, this is the first stat, the stat that I actually took on this, and this one, just make sure to note that this is on the April patch that I'm using, which is basically the latest one, and this is when I was coming back from where I was, and as you can see, the phone worked incredible. The phone has been basically 7 hours on battery, with 3.5 hours screen on time. Now, you have to know that this brightness has been on at least 40% because I was inside the train, but it was in the daylight. So basically, it was very bright, so I needed to actually use a lot of brightness. That's number one. It was on 3G all the time. This is, even though you see here the Wi-Fi symbol, it was on 3G. I just took this after I actually came home. But as you can see here, the entire trip here, as you can see, 3G was active. So 3.5 screen on time with 50% on 3G, using Spotify all the time. All the time. It's not, I don't know why it only says 2.5 hours, but it actually was on all the time. There is also YouTube. I watched a few YouTube videos while I was on the train, obviously because I can't use Spotify and YouTube at the same time. So basically they interchanged a little bit here. If you add this hour here, you will have almost 4 hours. But again, there is 48 minutes of watching YouTube, Spotify streaming, and 1 hour, as you can see here, and some other applications with a little bit, again, of GPS inside the train just to see how fast you were going. Now, this is actually one of the extreme tests because, as you know, when the train is going at 160 kilometers per hour, the phone has to keep switching between towers to keep the phone connected to 3G. And even though with all of that switching between towers and everything, the phone did not even heat up. There is no heat issue, so that's not even something you should consider as a problem. The phone does not slow down. I mean, it's almost like you're using it on Wi-Fi. The battery life is not a problem whatsoever. Now, the last two things, they relate to each other in terms of the positives, the things that I really like. Basically, the speakers and the headphone jack. Now, on my travel, I actually used the pre-supplied, Now, on my travel, I used the headphones that they give you with the phone, which were the AKG ones. They were okay. I mean, not the best audio quality, but, you know, they got the job done for me. But when I was on vacation, I used the speakers a lot. Now, I don't listen to speakers for music, obviously. But I actually watched a couple of episodes from my favorite TV show that were like an hour each. You can hear basically everything. When there is a stereo separation in the scene, you actually can hear it a little bit. It's incredible. The speakers are actually really good, just not for music. If you're going to use them to watch a movie or a TV show, they are incredibly good. But for music, you really shouldn't be doing that. Now, with all of these positives, there are still a few things that are wrong with the phone that I need to actually mention. The first thing being the fingerprint scanner. I made a video, it actually got a lot of views because I said it worked. The thing is, after I published that video, almost like 2 days after, I realized that the bug of the sleep-in phone came back, which means the deep sleep was never achieved on the phone. When I turned off the screen, the phone just kept on going with the lowest frequency. So I had to restart the phone, the deep sleep bug went away, and then the fingerprint scanner started to act up again, which means the speed from the lock screen is still pretty good. But if the screen is actually off, completely off, and the phone goes into deep sleep for a while, which means you leave it off for a couple of minutes or for 10 minutes, and then you pick the phone up to actually use it, it's almost as slow as it was before. But I think I found a solution. Now this is a con because I really don't like the fingerprint scanner. It's a first-gen product. I think it's expected, but I'm just going to throw in a little bit of almost a fix, at least for me, that actually seemed to work, just so that you can actually tell. But you should go to the settings, go into advanced features, and then motions and gestures. Now in here, you will find lift to wake. I disabled this one when I actually got the phone at first because I was like, it's not very much needed. But I think Samsung actually knows something that they are not telling us. Because the problem with the fingerprint scanner, when you have it at first, when you pick up the phone like this, it turns on. But now, notice from the lock screen, you just tap and it just goes in pretty fast. And even if the phone went to deep sleep, because every time you pick up the phone, once the screen is on, the phone just wakes up, as you can see here. Let me just put it down so that it actually is laying flat. Now, once I pick up the phone and, I don't know why it's not picking up. As you can see, now just hit a little bit and it goes. Oh, pretty fast. It doesn't even need that much of a work. And it actually works every time. When you have the phone, for example, on a table or anything, every time you pick the phone up, it will, even from your pocket. The moment you take it out, you take the phone out and you actually hold it to your face, you will find the screen up. Now that makes the fingerprint go extremely well. But if you are going to use it from a dead screen, which means from the black screen, you will have to hold for a couple of seconds, and there is no way to make it faster, at least for me. I really struggled with it. I still use it, obviously, because even though it's not perfect, but I think it's worth keeping to keep using because it's pretty much it's still a very good phone. The next problem that you will have with the Galaxy phone, it's not even for the S10, it's basically for every Samsung phone ever, is major updates. And that's going to be another problem that you will have to deal with. Samsung is notorious for slow updates. So just let's not get into this debate about Samsung will actually improve it. I really don't think so, which means the phone you bought right now, Android Q, will only reach it probably in the third month of next year, which means basically at least February. Maybe if Samsung actually does a good job, maybe January, when you will launch the beta updates. So just don't hold your breath for updates. Samsung is known for that. If updates are a major selling point on Android, don't buy a Galaxy phone, and that's just about it. But the software is incredible. For One UI, it's impressive. I mean, you will not find a better software on any other phone, including the Pixel. So the software itself, the performance itself, it's incredible. But if you want the latest Android versions, Samsung is not going to be the one to actually be able to deliver on that. You should look into the Pixel. The next thing is the camera. Now, as I said, it's not the worst, but it's not a defining feature of the Galaxy S10 Plus. The selfie cameras are pretty good. It's okay, it's not the best. The camera sets on the back, the three, are incredibly close to the competition, but they are not going to win any prizes this year. I'm almost sure of it. So if you want the best camera, you will have to go to the Huawei P30 or even the Google Pixel, maybe even the iPhone this year if Apple pulls something that's actually incredible. But for this phone, the cameras are not a selling feature. The last thing that might be a small thing for some people, maybe a big thing for others, is fast charging. The charging speed on this Galaxy S10 Plus is just as fast as on my 7 Edge. Samsung has not updated the fast charging hardware on its Galaxy phones for a while now. It takes, if you disable fast charging, it will take 2 hours to go from 0 to full. If you have fast charging on, it will take an hour and a half. And I believe from 0 to 50, it's not that faster. I mean, probably in an hour, it's not going to take like dash charging on OnePlus, which is like 30 minutes, or on Huawei, I don't know, even like 25 minutes or something like that. It's not that fast. So if fast charging is something that is incredibly important to you, don't look into the Galaxy S10. Now, after all of that I just said, this should not discourage you from buying the Galaxy S10. I think the best thing about the Galaxy S10, but also the worst thing about it for this year, is that it can do pretty much everything very, 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 very well, but it won't have a defining feature. Which, for example, the Huawei P30, it has the camera to back it up. I mean, the software is abysmal. It's bad. I mean, Huawei software is bad, but it has the camera, and a lot of people are talking about the cameras, the zoom, and this and that. So people are caught up into one feature that will actually keep it coming back into the press view, and a lot of people would compare a lot of it and will be like, look at that, this is impressive, look at that zoom. And in camera comparisons, I'm pretty sure it's going to be in every comparison for every phone until the end of the year, which is actually deserves it because it's a pretty good phone camera. The Pixel, again, it's going to have one of the best cameras, if not the best camera for this year. The software for the Pixel 2, I mean, that's going to be another high point. The Galaxy S10, the big issue about it, but it's also the highest point about it, is that it does everything incredibly well, but it doesn't have a defining feature. I mean, unless you're talking about the screen, which I don't think a lot of people consider as a main selling point, even though it's the thing that you look at the most on your phone, people consider the camera or something else. The Galaxy S10 Plus has basically a blessing and a curse. It can do everything. The software is incredible. The cameras are really good. I mean, you're not going to regret them. That's just a fact. The updates, Samsung, especially for the security ones at least, they have been very timely with them across almost all regions. And if you are in a region that doesn't receive updates, just flash a region that actually supports them so that you can keep getting the latest updates as fast as everyone else. The battery life is incredible. The software, I mean, they made incredible strides in it. It's incredibly clean, it's fast, it's smooth, which basically means that the Galaxy S10 is basically what every person has been looking for the past 10 years. Who's going to make the perfect phone? Who's going to make the perfect phone? But at the same time, it doesn't have a singular feature that everyone would be like, you know what? This is it. this is the phone. Maybe the headphone jack, but I don't think that's that big of a deal. I believe the answer to that question is basically here. It's the Galaxy S10 Plus. There are some rumors though that the next Galaxy phone, the next S phone, is going to have a very, very focused feature, which is going to be the camera this time. But until then, the Galaxy S10 is an incredibly good phone. It's the best all-around phone you can buy today. If someone asks you, which flagship should I get? The Galaxy S10 and S10 Plus are the best bet you can possibly have today in this category. So, there you have it. This has been the Galaxy S10 Plus review. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit the thumbs up button, like and subscribe, and see you in the next one. Bye.